Saw a video recently of somebody, quite well known atheist, and he was speaking to an audience. He started his talk off by saying something like, what kind of God is it that kills so many bodies, through all the different things that happen in war, young children. I think he's making a reference to children who die of disease or in childbirth, and making a big thing of this. And there have been others too who speak of this. How can there be God when so many innocent people are subjected to so many ailments and all the different physical symptoms that cause so much suffering? And we've got to get that straight, because we can't get drawn into this intellectual discussion, this intellectual mind analysis, because it's so confusing and it's so distorted, ignorant. Whatever is behind this existence, the great intelligence, life itself, is clearly not attached to the bodies, is it? That's why everybody dies. It's not the bodies that are important, although we do our best to preserve the body, the life in it, because that's natural, to sustain and preserve the life while we're alive, as all the species do. But bodies come and go. Wars happened, like the world wars. Millions of bodies are destroyed, aren't they? Killed. Even after the Great War, in the First World War, there was a flu called the Spanish flu, which killed millions of people, more than the hostilities of the war itself soon after. What's happening? Well, it's that there's always a fresh supply of bodies. And as much as I say, we do our best to survive and preserve the body, it is the life within the body that is important. That's why it's always here. Life is always here. Bodies come and go. We've got to get it straight. We've got to see it as it is presented in this existence. Otherwise we'll be like these mostly gentlemen who get up on the stage and draw these very large audiences, and they're saying nothing except their own regenerated intellectual absorption of old knowledge. Anyway, thank you for allowing me to say that. I'm going to be speaking of the psychic world today. The psyche and the psychic world and the spirit, so that we can get some distinction. Because most people, when they're asked, most people have a fascination and often have in their own experience or something that they've heard, some psychic happening, ghost story, which we all enjoy, or most of us do. Some people, or many people, have a psychic experience of some kind, some more overt and explicit than others. They might see somebody walking through a room, going through a wall, ghost, apparition. Some object moving, might have a premonition. Something happens in a dream that is so real, has great significance, because it's retained when they wake up. And innumerable happenings. And many people are moved to seek out a psychic for some guidance or to hear what they have to say, rather than just dismissing the whole thing as a lot of hocus pocus. Check it out in your own experience to see if it's real. Some are more real indeed than others. There are charlatans, and it's open to abuse. But there are people who have this faculty of able to see into the past, look into the future. And it's part of the mystery of this existence. And if somebody is open to that, then extraordinary things can happen, particularly if they are allowed to happen in their own time. In other words, we don't go looking for a psychic effect. It just happens. If I am open to that, it will happen when it is right, and it will have some significance then. See? So when somebody starts to enter their body, becomes more still as we practice, they are looking into an invisible field. It's called the psyche. And the psyche we don't have very much knowledge about, because it's so difficult to pin, because it's an energetic world. And the psyche is a completely different aspect of existence than the formal sensory world. It's the complete opposite. So we have to approach it in humility and in reverence, really, because we are entering a new, a different world, and it has its own principles, has its own laws. The psyche is not bound to the cause and effect formal world of matter, the material world. And what happens when we start to become more still is that we are entering a different gradient of time, because out here in the sensory world everything is so slow. Everything takes time, even to communicate. Our words take time to reach across space. Everything takes an interval of time. Whereas when we're going into the psychic world, the energetic world, it starts to speed up. And when I start to go deeper into the psyche, I reach a level of the psyche where the past and future have little differentiation, because it's all energetic. And there is no line really between the past and the future, because I'm entering a different time gradient. And so somebody who is psychic can become attuned energetically to the frequency of this psychic band and have perceptions of the past of somebody, or look into the future, because energetically it is all there. It's not that they are conjuring up anything. They are just looking. The more psychic somebody is, the more they are able to confidently go into that area and be more accurate in their perceptions. But the thing is that it depends, what is communicated depends on the clarity of that individual's inner space, because any kind of communication energetically is distorted or conditioned through my own subconscious, through my own psychic world. And if I'm emotional, if I'm harbouring intense energies of emotion, it distorts the signal. And so it's more hazy then, the perceptions. Whereas when I have a clear space, I'm able to see clearly and be much more effective in imparting any communication. Excuse me. So we are entering a different world when we go into the psyche, and the psychic world is in a constant state of flux. Okay, It's like an embryonic world. It's not dissimilar to when you look into a powerful microscope and you see the matter at the cellular level. It's quite similar to the psychic world, which is energetic, and it's always changing. It's never the same. And extraordinary things can happen, as I say, within the psyche, because every psychic form is an entity that has lived. You see, these entities, the emotion lives. There are discarnate energies. Extraordinary environment is the psyche. And what is in the psychic world is always looking to enter existence. What has lived is always the impulses to live again. And so we human beings, because we have elected to live an emotional way of life, we are extremely vulnerable to being psychically possessed through these entities, because they are able to enter our own subconscious. So if somebody is emotional, if they're easily wound up, get angry, they attract corresponding energy from the psyche. Energies of anger that have lived before. They are attracted, you see. It is like they are attracted in a way that, because that a light appears, let's say in the dark, in the black, and an emotion, when someone gets angry, it sends a signal. And then that anger in the psychic world is attracted to that light, and it comes in, then it's able to enter that person's subconscious, and it has the effect of making that person more angry, because it stimulates or agitates, magnifies that emotional force. So we have to be vigilant, and practice is why we practice, not suppressing emotion, but not holding on to emotion or justifying it, defending my emotion. Practice letting go. And stillness doesn't allow, emotion cannot bond or solidify in stillness, because it evaporates, you see. Whereas if it's an emotional field, it starts to solidify the emotion. I feel so heavy and fatigued, and it's a drain on my vital energies, you see. So whatever is in the psyche can be known. Okay, as we go into the psychic world, it can be known, and we can describe it. We can describe what's in the psyche. As I journey on, become more still, I'm going deeper into the psyche. There's a distinction between the psychic world, which is that world it's the psychic world, is the world that is closest to our surface awareness. It's very hard, packed with very, there's not much space there, because there's so many, as I say, these entities. But as I journey on, there's more space, less form. And when I reach this area in the psyche, there are more inspirational energies associated with the more spiritual purity of life. You know, there could be nature symbols of the elements, but energetically I get a sense of the earth in its purity. Very edifying, uplifting, but it's still in the psyche. It's not. It hasn't reached the spirit yet. So the deeper I go on, I'm starting to go into a more profound space where there are no forms, no objects, nothing. Because I'm leaving that behind. I'm leaving the psychic world behind. And I'm going into a deeper space where there is nothing there except the immediacy of being in a place that is so right, so complete. The spirit has no movement in it, no feeling, as in the psychic world. There is feeling, embryonic feeling, there is form, there is presence there. Whereas in the spirit, it's an absence of the formal existence. And of course, to be plunged straight into that spirit would be a terrifying thing, because we are so accustomed to affirming our world through forms and objects and people and the things that give a continuity to our life. Whereas in the spirit, there is no continuity. There is no form, no reference point, no past. It's the immediacy of the present, you see. And it cannot be remembered, it has to be discovered fresh and new. Whereas I was saying in the psyche, in the psychic world, it can be known what is in there. It can be described, whereas you cannot describe spirit. Important to see the distinction of these principles within us, these realities. Because it helps then. It helps because when I'm going through the transformative process of self-dissolution, it's really on, and I'm feeling so vulnerable and weak, in the sense of I can't seem to connect with anything that's right and good. I have the knowledge, I'm sustained then by the knowledge, having reached this place. Because in the early stages I can have glimpses, and I can reach this state of being, of appear to be nothing. But it cannot be contained. I keep springing back into existence, but every time I reach this place, what's happening is that I have the knowledge then that it's here. And the more time that I can spend in this absence of experience, in inner stillness, it is like a resource of power then that I can draw upon as I have to face the challenges of my formal existence, as I'm being transformed, as the self is being transformed. I have to go through the great inner pressure and struggles, as we all must do. So I find that when it's on, and I feel I'm not sure if I can get through this, I can, because I have the knowledge that I'm being supported through the spirit. It's very important. Practice this important self-knowledge, because it will get me through, you see. Get me through even the most difficult, the most challenging of situations. Because I have trust. I trust in my own gnosis, my own self-knowledge. If I can just get through this moment, I'll be okay. Of course, it's always okay. I always get through, you see. So it's a very interesting subject. It's a vast subject, the whole psychic world. And I'll, in future videos, I'll speak of some of my own experiences of the psyche and what has happened to me and what I've been a part of in my life. And I'm sure you'll let me know of some of your experiences too, if you want to leave a comment. Because it's all part of the mystery, you see. It's all part of the wonder of the psyche, the psychic world, the psyche, and the spirit.